From the Silicon Valley Capital Club at the very top of the Silicon Valley, I'm Mark Levinson.
And I'm Christina King. Welcome to a special anniversary edition of Tech Close-Up.
We're at the top of the Knight Ridder building in downtown San Jose, and from this vantage point, high-tech companies are sprawling as far as the eye can see. It's a perfect place to celebrate the first full year of Tech Close-Up. Can you believe it's a year already?
It's gone so fast, and in that period of time, we've done our best to capture the people, the places, and the ideas that make high technology the force that it is today.
We meet people like Trip Hawkins, founder of Electronic Arts, Patrick Lowe, the CEO of Netgear, and Ned Barnholt, past chairman and CEO of Agilent Technologies.
And although our show is about looking forward into the high-tech future, we couldn't resist the opportunity to take a break from our old routine and look back at some of the stories that we've covered in our program.
So we pulled some clips from past programs that we think are worth a second look. Now, one program in particular that really hit home involved the computerization of medical records. Now, this is where the folks at El Camino Hospital are changing the way charts and medical records are kept. In the heart of the high-tech world, there's a drive to record your medical history on a hard drive.
We're just very interested in a basic question, which is why in the world are we still writing our medical records on paper in Silicon Valley of all places?
That's why Mountain View's El Camino Hospital showcases new technology for medicine without paper, where doctors and nurses replace notepads with tablet PCs on a wireless network.
It means really reaching out to the community and saying to our community, here's ways to get at your records, here's ways to participate in your health process.
It's sometimes called e-health. Everything from blood pressure stats to CAT scans and MRIs, they're all accessible with a password and a mouse. Even patients wear wristbands with barcodes, just like in supermarkets. But instead of prices, scanners here store patient names, vital signs, and medical history.
Currently what we're doing is we're moving technology and we're moving information processing technology closer to the patient, closer to the interaction between the physician and the patient.
If this patient had been here 2 years ago or even 1 year ago, that data is there, and so the nurse, when she starts looking at the patient, can find out the history from 2 years ago, pull it forward if necessary, in case the patient has forgotten he was on something.
Advocates argue electronic medicine makes health care faster, more efficient, and safer. The software even alerts doctors and nurses if they've ordered a mistake, mistakes like the wrong drug, linked to at least 50,000 deaths a year.
So if he orders something and the patient's on another medication, or say another doctor was in and ordered the lab test earlier in the day, it'll pop up and say, this patient already has a CBC order today, are you sure you really want it?
E-health works well at El Camino, but it's hard to find anywhere else. And that's what bothers Silicon Valley business.
If you're an El Camino patient, but you end up in an emergency room, unconscious, in some other city, and it's not the El Camino system, they have no access to your records. And this is unconscionable.
When we were searching for examples of high-tech executives in the Bay Area who are making a difference in their community, we didn't have to look any farther than Umang Gupta. Umang and his wife Ruth founded a respite care home in the Bay Area, one of the few for developmentally disabled children. And we decided that the story of the Raji House deserves a second look.
Playing in the backyard is how some of them like to kick off their morning.
Want to ring the bell?
Meanwhile, on the front porch of this suburban home in Burlingame,
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hi.
other families are just arriving. 12-year-old Rebecca will spend the day here. She's one of about half a dozen special needs kids who come on weekends to this home called Raji House.
She needs a lot of attention, pretty much full time. Change diapers, go to the bathroom. With feeding, she needs a lot of help.
It's the kind of help that's hard to find, say parents with developmentally disabled kids. Raji House opened 9 years ago. Its mission, to give families a much-needed break from the often exhausting job of caring for someone with special needs.
It's very difficult to obtain out-of-home respite care for your child. Respite is more available in the home because it's a little cheaper to provide. But to me, out-of-home respite can be the difference between a family choosing to keep their child with them at home and having a break on the weekends and making the very difficult choice that many families do to place their child permanently out of their home because they just can't handle it.
Ruth and husband Umang Gupta founded Raji House and named it after their son. A painting of the boy hangs over the home's fireplace. Raji was born with severe disabilities and died at age 2.5.
We were touched by the fact that when Raji was born, which is 1984, he'd been severely developmentally delayed, and we weren't at that stage aware of how long he would live. But as it turned out, during the short life that he did have, we were really touched by how much the community came to our aid, the San Mateo community here with Parka, and there was so much we depended on them during that very tough period of our lives. So when we found ourselves in a position to give back, we decided that we wanted to help out with this respite home in the Bay Area, designed for kids like Raji, called Raji House.
The help the Guptas received from friends and organizations inspired them to give back to their community. It was the tremendous success of Gupta's tech companies, the most recent Keynote Systems based in San Mateo, that enabled the couple to fund the expensive facility.
We have a lot more to do than just build great products. We have to be able to help out our communities.
Now, one of the firms that impressed me was Sitespeed. They've taken the concept of video email to a whole new level.
If you've ever made a video phone call over the internet, well, it probably looked something like this. But why?
Yes. Hello.
Are you Squirt?
Video phone calls look so great in science fiction like 2001.
Where's Mommy?
Gone to shopping.
If only the real thing worked like the movies. Cheap, lifelike video phones seem like a dream that just won't come true.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find somebody to call here. It's like, oh, hey, there's Jack. Hey, Jack.
But it's no dream at Berkeley's Sitespeed. With a computer, a camera, and an internet connection, the video phone comes to life.
There's nothing special about this software or the camera he's using. Jack, what kind of camera do you have there?
I just have a little Logitech QuickCam Pro, the standard camera that most of us use here in the office.
So it's off-the-shelf camera. Now watch here. You can actually see Jack's eyes blink. That's what really blows people away. Is that it's the natural communication that you get. The dramatic difference people notice is in how smooth and natural the entire experience is.
The Sitespeed experience is, at first, just another website with a download. But that's where the similarities end. Sitespeed software turns the whole computer into a video telephone. The computer's memory helps mimic the way the human brain filters out the unnecessary, so the eye focuses on just what's important.
We analyze the visual stream in the same way in which the human eye and the human brain analyzes video or movement. So we actually filter out what is not important to human perception. So we're very selective about the information that we send, and then we're very efficient in how we send it.
The bottom line, the internet sends live video that doesn't flutter, stall, or freeze. That's impressed some high-profile tech writers and publishers. It's also what convinced some Silicon Valley venture capitalists to buy in.
We realized, well, that combined with the fact that people now have broadband, they now have powerful PCs, they now have easy-to-install webcams, maybe now is finally the time. I travel a lot on business. I've sat in a hotel in Tokyo with my laptop and camera talking to my children back home. And I have to tell you, it seems like a very Jetsons moment when you're doing that. And you kind of forget that this is a company you've invested in and you're just using the product. And it was really amazing.
She's known officially as Sister Patsy Harney, but most people here in the Silicon Valley call her the Cyber Nun. Now, when we first heard about Sister Patsy's work with low-income housing residents in San Jose, we had to see for ourselves how one woman is using high technology to make a difference in her local community. Little fingers click the keys as eyes focus intently on the screen. It's Friday after school, and no one wants to do homework.
Right now I'm checking my horoscope because I'm always curious of what my horoscope has to tell me, and which right now I'm looking at is today's horoscope, which is my sign Virgo.
In a bright basement room at San Jose's Plaza Maria apartments, computers line the walls. It's a free place for students who live in this low-income complex to come and learn.
I use the computer to do projects, homework, and play.
When I'm in school, when they assign me a project or something, I just go on the computer and look up the topic they give me. For example, I just had my recent project was on cancer, so I would look up pictures of cancer.
Like Jacqueline Mendoza, many of the kids who live here don't often know how good they have it. After all, every one of these computers is available 24/7 for free, broadband internet included. Who would have thought they'd owe it all to a nun? She's Sister Patsy Harney, also known as
Cyber Nun, Cyber Sister, proud tech-savvy mama of all things digital and bandwidth.
The nicknames are hard-earned. Sister Patsy has a big job.
We have 53 apartments here in this complex.
She's the Associate Director of Community and Resident Services for Mercy Housing. The Bay Area nonprofit not only gives people with disabilities in several cities an affordable home, it puts opportunity at their fingertips.
Mercy Housing builds housing in low-income communities, and so it was kind of a natural. We have community rooms, we have need for technology, we build communities.
And building communities means more than just windows and walls. Sister Patsy's mission is to build the computer skills of Mercy Housing's tenants so they can lead better lives. The dream became a reality 4 years ago when the U.S. Department of Education granted Mercy Housing and Sister Patsy $500,000 to get residents plugged in.
The first shipment of computers we had here, all of the residents, many of the residents from Plaza Maria came downstairs, and we spent a whole Saturday together refurbishing the computers. And some of the best little technicians were like about 8 or 9 years old.
It's the kids who use the basement computers, but at this apartment complex, it's not the only place you'll find digital access. There are 53 apartments here at Plaza Maria, and get this, every one of them has a computer, and it's all wireless.
In our very first program, we met with Unki Fadhiya. He's a young Stanford student who's made a name for himself in cybersecurity. Now, since our interview, Ankit won the IT Leader Award for 2005, and he's written a new book on the dangers of hacking in mobile phones. Even a year ago, Ankit had plenty to say about computer risks that we all face in the age of the internet.
I wonder if the CEOs and the cybersecurity executives who invite you to speak have the same reaction that I did when I met you. The door opens, in comes this 19-year-old kid. What is he going to tell us?
Yeah, most people are really surprised when they see me walk into a conference room or walk into the training center. But on many occasions, we have also not advertised my age at all, because some people do consider or think about the fact that how can a 19-year-old actually teach us something. But hacking is a very young industry, and people have started realizing that the best people in the industry are also the youngest.
But the title of the book, and we'll get to the fact that you wrote this book when you were 14.
Yeah.
You know, I got to get into the mindset of what's a 14-year-old writing a book for, but the title of the book, how can hacking be ethical?
Well, traditionally in computer security, there are two types of people. One are the hackers, the other are the crackers. Hackers are actually the good guys who fight cybercrime, who catch the computer criminals, work with the police agencies and so on. While crackers are the real bad guys who break into systems, create viruses, steal credit card numbers and so on. But probably due to the media or for some other reason, the hackers and the crackers, the two terms have intermingled. And nowadays when you talk about hackers, you immediately start thinking about a criminal. But in reality, hackers are the good guys, crackers are the bad guys.
So you've got guys wearing white hats and guys wearing black hats. What color hat do you wear?
I obviously wear the white hat, and I'm the ethical hacker, the good guy who fights cybercrime.
And we were fortunate to spend time at the Computer History Museum in Mountain View, California with Steve Russell. He invented one of the earliest video games called Space Wars. Steve and I took a walk down memory lane at the museum where computers have their own unique place in history. When we use these kinds of machines, did we marvel at how they worked the way we marvel at PCs today?
I don't marvel at PCs, I swear at them.
Established in 1996, the Computer History Museum preserves the artifacts and legends of the information age. It's quite a collection. Here you'll find over 4,000 pieces of equipment, 10,000 images, and miles of documents, all capturing high-tech storied past.
This is the most heroic vacuum tube computer, a piece of the most heroic vacuum tube computer effort ever done. ENIAC was built at the end of World War II, and it was designed to compute things like gun firing tables and basically big tables of numbers.
Was it analog?
No, it was digital. And it had so many vacuum tubes that you couldn't turn it on without a few blowing out. So they wanted to leave it on as much as they could.
Wasn't a good idea to keep using it.
And so
I hope it came with a warranty.
Well, the engineers who designed it later formed UNIVAC, and they never put that many tubes in a computer again.
Learned their lesson.
For Steve, this walk through the museum brought back a lot of memories of a high-tech world where the machines were big and the speeds were slow, especially by today's standards.
And this was the first computer. This had a number of firsts in it. It had displays on it, and it started out with, it pioneered with core memory. Mm-hmm. And it also paved the way for the Sage computers, which are down in the next aisle.
So back then, it took something this big to write in ones and zeros.
The computer itself was built into one floor of a medium-sized industrial building.
And the power that a computer like that would have would be comparable to what today?
Much less than this. And this is old, this is obsolete, this is very slow.
Let's face it, the engineering world is often dominated by men. So when we heard about an all-girls group, a robotics club at a local high school, we just had to check it out for ourselves. And believe me, these girls can really hold their own against the boys.
It's heavy, but this contraption of wires, plastic, and chains really can move. The robot's mission is unusual, yet simple. Use its long arm to pick up several smaller triangle-shaped plastic pipes called tetras and place them on top of a larger one. Two girls control the joysticks. It's hard to believe a team of 30 put this thing together so quickly.
Initially, we started the competition really late. We only had 6 weeks to do everything, organize, build, completely everything. And most teams, the day we started our kickoff was the first time we had met, and most teams before that had planned, gotten fundraising opportunities, etc.
The all-girl Gator Robotics team had just 6 months to get ready for a regional robotics competition that would pit them against teams from other schools. It meant hard work and long days.
Arrive at school, you do school till 3 or whatever, and then you maybe do half an hour of homework, and then you come and work on the robot.
Work not just on the robot, but on a whole series of marketing tools. Some girls designed the team's website. Others created computer animation showing the robot in real-life situations.
We created a whole world inside of the computer, so different people did different parts. Like one person did the buildings, and one person put it all together with the people, and I did a lot of work on the fire and the robot.
With sponsorships from a few Bay Area corporations and tech firms, and a lot of faculty mentors, they were ready for the Silicon Valley regionals.
Though Team 1700 didn't have the fastest, most accurate machine, the girls earned themselves a big honor, taking home the All-Star Rookie of the Year award. Their teamwork had paid off.
We were there countless hours, our mentors, our teachers, but everyone had a job to do, and I think that's why we feel so successful.
You know, when I was in grade school, one thing I hated was diagramming sentences.
Why am I not surprised?
There is no way to like it, is there?
No.
But you know, there's a firm here in the Valley called Intensity that's got a computer system which does the diagramming for us, and the results do a lot more than just make grade school easier.
It's everybody's worst junior high school memory. Who likes to diagram sentences?
Oh, I think that all of us probably had a less than comfortable experience potentially with our 8th grade English teacher. And now I say that as the son of a high school English teacher, and so, you know, at least for me, I got that sort of grammar correction all along, and this is what happened to me.
What happened is Intensity, a Palo Alto software firm that's given diagrams a new Silicon Valley twist.
What we did is we taught a computer to diagram sentences, exactly the way that we did back in 8th grade.
And it didn't complain.
It was hard, but it didn't complain.
Well, so what? Well, turns out technology that diagrams sentences caught some top secret attention.
We got an investment from InQtel, which is the investment arm of the Central Intelligence Agency, and it actually saved our company not too long after 9/11.
9/11 triggered the war on terror, the hunt for bin Laden, and an ear on chatter, a CIA term for underground codes and messages that may signal an imminent attack. But to read what a terrorist has in mind may cause some terrible eye strain.
It could take weeks, and not only could it take a lot of time, but one of the things that we are not good at as humans is taking massive amounts of input and understanding a trend, looking for outliers.
That's how a struggling Silicon Valley startup found new life. As Intensity software scans text, it separates subjects, verbs, and objects into a diagram that maps out who did what to whom, when they did it, and where. The program even figures out double meanings like a bat or bat. It even reads bad grammar. New updated software can also diagram text in other languages. It amounts to technology that detects in seconds what might take humans days or weeks.
As a case in point, we took Moby Dick the novel as an electronic form, and we ran it through a system of this caliber. We diagrammed every sentence in that book in 9.5 seconds. Although we do conduct business with a number of the intelligence agencies of this country, we don't really know what it is that they do with our technology. They won't tell us, and we know enough not to ask.
You know, Mark, we can look out there and name thousands of companies that are startup companies in the Silicon Valley.
That's kind of what Tech Close-Up really is all about.
But not many of those companies devote their time and hard work to strictly nonprofit causes. We did find one, though, Benetech, and it's using its high-tech tools for the social good.
It looks a little strange, but ripping the cover and binding off a book is how it all starts. Then the individual pages feed into a machine that actually converts the text into spoken words.
Being watched or not, which sometimes is a good thing.
The scanned books are filed into an internet library so the visually impaired can listen to literary works from their favorite authors.
We had 35,000 people reading books all over the world in 12 different languages, 60 countries.
Jim Fruchterman is the man behind the project Bookshare. He's president and CEO of Benetech, a nonprofit venture that takes high-tech but not so lucrative technology and puts it to work for the greater good.
When I was in college, I dreamed of making a reading machine for the blind. I was learning about making smart bombs, and I thought this would be a cooler application. Fast forward a decade later, I've started one of Silicon Valley's top companies in pattern recognition that reads books and documents. And we wanted to make a reading machine for the blind because it was really cool, but it didn't make any sense for our investors.
So Jim started his nonprofit Benetech, a company that uses technology to solve social problems.
I learned to dive for pearls until I learned many other things.
People could scan in books and share them with people with disabilities legally in a way that eventually will be sustainable through a modest subscription fee that will eventually pay what it costs to operate it.
Kind of like the music-sharing website Napster, only Bookshare from the beginning has had permission from authors and publishers. Jim says the Bookshare idea came from his teenage son.
The woman who is the CEO of Napster at the end of 1999 lived 2 doors down, and her teenage son gave my teenage son Napster. And I looked at Napster and I said, ooh, this is cool. This is really illegal, but it's really cool. And then I said, oh, I wonder if we could use that same music sharing, peer-to-peer kind of idea to help blind and dyslexic people share books.
Bookshare is just one of several projects Benetech is developing. The company's software is currently keeping track of human rights violations in countries around the world. But this kind of social investment takes money.
Thank you for calling the Skoll Foundation. How may I help you?
That's where the Skoll Foundation in Palo Alto comes in.
Social entrepreneurs like Jim Fruchterman are why the Skoll Foundation exists.
Sally Osberg is Skoll's president and CEO. She says the foundation has made 2 sizable grants to Benetech.
Well, people like Jim Fruchterman see technology really as the ultimate tool of democratization. They see that it's the leveler, and they also see that most of the world's population doesn't have access to technology.
I think that's actually the way most technical people came to technology. It wasn't to get rich, it was because they love solving problems.
I have to say, producing this show over the past year has been a blast. But, you know, there are a few moments that I guess I would like to have back.
You had to bring that up. Well, you know, we're only human, and we can tell you that nobody's perfect.
So what did we do? Well, we thought we'd put together a few bloopers over the past year.
Oh, here we go.
To the patient, but to the sorry.
And we're adding new stations every month. I'm sorry.
How the buddy system is help give. Sorry,
Welcome to Mars. I'm sorry. Do it again.
These kids get sent out into the world with a little bright, oh shoot, I'm sorry. And that was a good one, wasn't it? That was pretty good.
Silicon Valley have come up with oh Jesus, I screwed it up. I'm sorry.
Technology is helping. How technology can check your health at home.
Literally grew up with the biotechnology. Oh God. Sorry.
Children here at Raji House. And I just forgot what I was going to say.
No, I'm sorry. I was expert in the Damn it. I'm sorry. In San Mateo. I'll do it again. You know, it has been loads of fun to look back on the first full year of Tech Close-Up.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to another year as we profile the trends in technology and the people who bring innovation to life.
Now, as always, you can look back on past clips and even past programs, or even send us feedback by logging onto our website at techcloseup.com.
We also want to thank the many community cable channels throughout Northern California, which are bringing us into nearly 3 million homes every month.
Can you believe that? It's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, for Christina and myself, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next month for another year of Tech Close-Up.